often we think that overthinking is the very thing that's going to save us. If we think through all of the possible solutions that will protect us from failing, from making a mistake, and baby, let me tell you, it does not. So here's my bright self thinking, okay, I have 2 grocery stores in the nearest vicinity. Which one would it be easiest and fastest to get to, right? So I'm doing my big calculations, honey. My phone's out. I'm Google Maps from there to here to here to there, okay? I spent 10 whole minutes trying to figure out which way would be the easiest for me to get to and save me the most time. And let me tell you how much time it was going to save me. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah. And so here's the reality for me. Overthinking had become, and I'm going to say had because we're doing some things to shift that, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But overthinking had become a form of safety, a form of protection. If I think through every possible way and a reason and option, then maybe, just maybe, I won't make a mistake, that I won't fail, I won't disappoint somebody. And it was showing up everywhere. It was showing up in my personal relationships, that consuming fear of making sure, oh my gosh, if I say this hard thing to this person that I love, what is their response going to be? How am I going to, maybe they've reacted this way in the past, so how am I going to be prepared for that possibility again? Or at work when I would be consumed with fear and trying to think through how would my client respond, and am I going to get this RFP? What do I need to prepare for? Just constant frustration, constant overthinking. And this is what perfectionism does. It lies to us. It tells us that if we're perfect, then and only then will we be safe? Will we be protected? Are we going to be perceived as knowledgeable and intelligent and worthy of whatever, worthy of our ability, or worthy for folks to think that we're able to handle this situation, or worthy of whatever position we have been given. So perfectionism, it is all consuming. It is a liar at the end of the day. And I think that pattern was something that I learned very early in life, when you are questioned at times about decisions that you've made, or when you're asked about your opinion and then your opinion is questioned, or it is tried and really, folks are really trying to interrogate whether or not why you arrived at this opinion. And maybe for you, it is a more intuitive process, and for others, it can be much more logical. And that misunderstanding can often be a point of pain or frustration. And so for me, to prevent myself from being in those positions and not seeming qualified or not seeming able to figure it out, I would overthink. And then add on top of that, being a new business owner, I'm constantly in positions where I do not know. I don't have a past history of success in this area, or rather, I wouldn't say success. I have success, but it just looks a bit different. I haven't faced this problem before, right? I don't know this situation just yet. There's not comfortability or trust built up, even internally, even trusting myself enough to feel like, okay, girl, you haven't seen this before, but you've done this, which is similar to this. And how can you use what your process and system was to be effective, to be excellent in that area? How can you use it in this situation? And so a lot of my learning now is just really leaning on that understanding. And so what I've been doing is really practicing making a decision and going with it instead of overthinking. Maybe this isn't the best route. Maybe it's gonna take me 15 extra minutes. Or maybe choosing to do this RFP is gonna take me an extra hour. or working with this client, you know, maybe I don't know what the possibilities can be, but instead I am just going to try. I am going to see how it goes and go from there. And I start low stakes. So maybe it's deciding this direction, this freeway. If you're living in a metropolitan area, there's 15 billion different freeways to take and ways to get there. So just starting with those small things. You have 3 grocery store options. I'm going to pick one and I'm going to go. Last week had the opportunity to be in this beautiful city and choose a quiet coffee shop, a little quaint place that I can get my work on. And instead of trying to research, I literally put it in chat. I said, this is the city I'm going to be in. Here's the vibe I'm looking for. What are a couple coffee shops? And I was looking at 3 and I said, you know what? I looked at the pictures. I chose one. And I left it at that. Instead of, okay, well, wait, should I do this one or should I do that one? Let me look at pictures more. Let me look at reviews, and just constantly pushing further and further and further. There's this hidden cost when it comes to perfectionism, the time, the physical time, the mental capacity that it takes from you, the mental strength. And so I'm encouraging you, if this is something that you struggle with before, to maybe what does it look like in low stakes environments where it feels safe to take a chance, to not overthink, to lean into this a little more. And as you build up that trust internally, it allows you to now use this strength, this trust that you've built, and take it into a situation where maybe the stakes are a bit higher. Maybe people are looking to you as the expert, and now you have to make a choice or a decision without knowing all of the information. So I'm coming to you as someone still in the process. I do not have it figured out. I am trying some different things, but I am feeling an ease to breathe a little bit lighter and not to be so hard on myself, even if what decision I made was not perfect, or maybe I have to go back and make a different decision now because what I tried the first time didn't quite work out. But that's part of the process of learning and being human. So if that's something that's been beneficial to you, or maybe you tried some things that have worked for you, I would love to hear them. All right, y'all, have a beautiful rest of your night.